Why, hello and welcome to another episode of the Josie Dumont podcast, hosted by me, Josie. And today I'm joined by Laura, who's a holistic self-love and empowerment coach for women, NLP master practitioner, and hypnotherapist. And this woman is on a mission to guide women back home to themselves and their true essence to live life on their own terms, which, as you know, is something I'm super passionate about as well. So I feel like this conversation is like a match made in heaven, and I'm super, super happy to have you here, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited for this conversation. I know that we recently connected and did an Instagram live, and that conversation was just absolutely incredible. So I can't wait to see where this goes, because I think it's just going to be one amazing, but also help so many people that are listening.
Yes, 100%. And as we are diving into our topic today, which will touch on your expertise around self-love, I would love to know, like, how was your own journey in this regard? And also, how did it lead you to where you are today and what you are doing today as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think it has been such a battle, such a journey. I think for me, like the worst place that I was or found myself was way back now in 2009, which is when I had a bit of a spiritual awakening. And it was from there that things really started to change in my life. And I don't mean that that was the significant turning point. That was the start of a real hell of a battle. And since that point, I've been in and out of different hospitals. I was sort of diagnosed with an eating disorder at the age of 18. I'm now 33, and it has been, yeah, it's been quite a journey since then, and just self-discovering, failing, picking myself back up, growing, learning even more, having therapy, which never really did anything for me.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was actually in my last hospital admission, which was 2019, that's when I believe that that real shift happened. I just decided that enough was enough. I'd been through the system so many times, it never worked for me, and I just started to take things into my own hands, which is when I just started to drown out all of the noise around me. I stopped listening to like the news. I like cut off people that I thought were detrimental to me. I just really focused on myself and what I needed and really just went inwards, got to know myself on a much deeper level. I started reading books and I just started this real beautiful holistic approach to myself. And that's when I kind of discovered self-love and started to adapt that to myself and my own life. And that's when I believe everything in my life started to change for the better. And like I always like to say now, I believe self-love has been like the catalyst that has saved my life. I just want to say here as well, like self-love isn't a destination, it's something that you commit to and you choose every single day. But it gets to be a beautiful journey of highs and lows and just appreciating yourself through it all.
I love that so much, what you just said, because it truly is not like an endpoint that you work towards to something that you achieve and then it's just done. It's like a continuous journey. And I feel like it never ends, but at the same time, obviously, it gets easier. You learn the tools, and every single day where you get to work on yourself and improve in this regard is another day that you can experience on a whole new different level.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the same as when people, use the word healing.
Mhm.
So when, you go on a healing journey, there isn't a destination. You're never like fully healed because there's always going to be something that crops up in your life. And I think once you can adopt the mindset of, okay, so if I'm never fully healed, that's okay. So how can I navigate life and pick myself up every single time? Because I think if you think that there is a destination, you think that you will be fully healed or other people are fully healed, you're going to continue to beat yourself up for the rest of your life if anything goes wrong. And that's where the self-love comes in.
That is so, so true. Why do you feel like, maybe from your expert point of view, is it so hard for people to actually love themselves?
I think it's just massively down to social conditioning. What
Mm.
we have been told we should be and shouldn't be, especially as women. Like, you
Oh,
need to be
yes.
nice, you need to be quiet, you need to sit down, you need to be poised, you need to be, respectful, and, you need to wear this and you need to wear that. And I think there's always that element of, well, I'm not good enough. So how can I love myself when I'm not meeting the criteria that society is putting on me? And that is basically where it comes from. Because if you think about it, when you were born, you were just a little bundle of love, nothing more, nothing less. So
Mm.
it's like self-love is your birthright. So how has it ever left you? And when I work with my clients, it's about bringing that back out of them because it's always been there. It's just we need to get rid of that societal conditioning that we believe self-love to be selfish or ignorant, or it means that we don't care about other people and that, we're kind of like putting ourselves in this hierarchy that we're better than everyone else, and that's simply not the case. It's about filling your own cup and allowing everyone else to feed from that overflow.
That is so important. I always like to say, instead of just giving like from your cup, try to give from the saucer, like because you are so much an overflow. And to achieve that, you really have to pour into yourself first. And that also ensures obviously like higher quality relationship, I feel like, because
Yeah.
it's not just you grinding and like draining yourself in order to be with that person, but instead you're really giving from a place where you can be your best and also most authentic self. You're like truly who you are meant to be. And those connections are way more precious when you have that with another person than when you're trying to be like, oh no, I need to keep this up like a facade. I need to appear in that certain way, as you say, like those expectations from others. It just in order for them to like me or accept me or to get this validation of being loved from someone else rather than choosing
Yeah.
to love yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And it strengthens the relationships with everyone around you because if you are willing to be open, honest, and vulnerable about what is going on for you, then people have more respect for you because they can relate to you too. Like, no one is perfect and everyone is going through their own thing. And if you just allow yourself to be, then you're gonna feel so much more calm and at ease within your own body that you're able to show up as your true self. You'll dissipate that stress or that kind of doubt that you may be putting on yourself and just allow yourself to actually live your life rather than put on this mask of trying to be perfect all the time because it doesn't exist. So, yeah, I think when you are able to show yourself love and compassion first, every single area of your life strengthens because you are your best self. You're operating from that highest frequency, which if you were depleted, the things that you do, whether that's your to-do list or the connections you have, the relationships you have, they would all feel quite mundane or strained. And that's because you're not looking after yourself. So I think if you can do that first, every single area of your life just enhances.
And where would you say would be like a great place to start for someone who has never really touched on that topic, but they know like something isn't right, or that they have realized like there are some layers around them, they can't truly express themselves, they feel like not themselves anymore. Like where would they start on this self-love, but also I feel like self-acceptance and self-trust journey?
I think the first thing is you really need to start just being with yourself without distraction. Because how can you get to know yourself if you're not willing to be with yourself,
Mm,
We're
yes.
always kind of like we want things to change, but we're not willing to just sit with ourselves even for 5 minutes because it's difficult. And it will be difficult at first, but that's okay as well. It's like that's where the self-love comes in. It's like hold your own hand through it. It might be difficult, it might be emotional, but allow yourself to feel it all because it's okay to feel it all. And just begin to understand how you feel around certain people, begin to realize how you feel in certain environments, and you will start to notice what feels good and what doesn't. Take note of that. Maybe you need to write it down to remember at first, and then start putting yourself in situations or environments or around the people that inspire you, that lift you up, that want to see you win, that make you feel good and spend less time with the people that do drain you. And that's what I was saying at the beginning is once I started to do that for myself, my world and my life started to change because I was putting in place boundaries, but also things that just helped me to feel good about myself. And it wasn't that I was kind of being harsh or shutting people out for the sake of it. It was me like okay, I'm growing, I'm moving on, and it's okay for us to outgrow people, situations, things, and places. So, how can I best support myself to move forward into this new season and chapter of my life? So, really get to know yourself, sit with yourself without that distraction, without being on your phone, and just listen to what's going on inside rather than what's going on in your head.
It's all about the focus inwards rather than outwards. What you also just said struck a chord in me, like especially around the obviously spend time with yourself. And I know like so many people will be like, no, 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 I can't do that. Like this is so embarrassing. Like how can I spend time with myself? And I have to say, like in the beginning, I was there too. And what I have then done, yeah, that's the right way to say it. So I just went on a vacation on my own, like a couple times, and I absolutely loved it because that really just challenged me to just go on a date with myself, like take myself out to a restaurant, go on a coffee date with myself, sit on the beach, do things that I really enjoy doing. I also went to the cinema by myself, and that was a little bit embarrassing because I didn't know, but the ticket I booked was next to a couple, but I didn't know because I couldn't see the tickets I booked. And then when I went in, they were like literally the only ones in there. I had to like sit right next to them, and I was like, okay, this is now a little bit weird. But then afterwards, like loads more people came in. And I was like, no, actually, this is totally fine, and I just enjoyed the movie. But it was like a little moment where I just got triggered, like, oh my gosh, like I'm this lonely person who goes into the cinema, sitting next to that couple, and they are just like, the fuck is she doing? So that was quite a funny
Yeah, I love that.
memory. Mm.
Yeah. And also you learn from that, but also it almost feels like it's empowered you even more. Like it's given you
Yes.
even more confidence because you sat through that difficult period within those like 5, 10 minutes of sitting there. But also what I want to say here, when I mean like be with yourself, like doing a solo day is something that I would recommend further down the line. When I say be with
Mm.
yourself, I mean just sitting 5, 10 minutes, no distractions, maybe get a journal out, brain dump, whatever's going on in your mind, get it all out on paper. Let the pen flow. It doesn't need to make sense. Just let it all out because that is also a physical release from your body. And in doing that, it lightens your load. It lightens whatever is going on in your head that might be stressful, overwhelming, or anxiety provoking for you right now. And I think once you do that, you do start to get to know yourself at a deeper level because you are almost articulating the thoughts that are going on inside your head out on paper. And with that, you can kind of let it go. You can shut the book and be like, okay, that's what's going on for me today. And continue to keep doing that, almost like a little bit of a diary to yourself. And from there, you will find yourself just growing and emerging and getting to know yourself so much more. And the more you do it, the more love and compassion will come as a side effect from that.
100%. And you also have like your own self-love journal, right?
Yeah, and this is why I talk about journaling so much. In fact, I've got it here.
Yes, please show it.
This is why I talk about journaling so much because this is like, I mean, I created this off the back of my own healing journey. So I talk about journaling so much because that was what helped me on my journey. And all of the prompts that I have inside of this are the things that helped me, which is why I created it. And I know a lot of women now that have bought one and use it have said just how much it has helped to change their life, their perspective, the perspective of themselves. And it's just been so beneficial, especially for the fact that a lot of people say, I've tried journaling, but I can't be consistent with it and I don't know how
Mm.
to journal. Well, this journal has prompts that are easy to follow and are designed to really help you close off your day in the most beautiful and positive way. So yeah, journaling is a massive one for me and I still use it today. So definitely consider journaling, or reaching out if you'd like to get one of my journals.
Yes, definitely. I will also put the link to your journal in the description box below. If you were to share one of the prompts that you have in the journal, what would you love to give the listeners today, maybe as a starting point or inspiration to try it out?
I think one of the best ones is, what am I proud of myself for today? Because we don't take enough recognition for the things that we do. Doesn't matter how small it is. But when is it that we acknowledge ourselves and the things that we do, the achievements that we make, whether it's simply getting out of bed, it's doing the laundry today, it's taking something to the post office, like just celebrate all of the little things that you're doing for yourself. Because if you was to do that consistently every single night, let's say for even just a week, you will start going to bed on such a positive note
Mm.
of acknowledgement for yourself, and it feels beautiful. And I think once you can start doing that, it will honestly start to change your perspective on how you view yourself. That feeling of not doing good enough, not doing enough, I've not been productive enough, I've not ticked off all of my to-do list. Yeah, but you've done some things and that's okay. You're human. Like, allow yourself to just be. So that is one that I would definitely say try out.
I love that so much because that's literally the one I would give any client as well who's coming with like imposter syndrome or like self-doubt issues. So this truly is a game-changing prompt, and you can literally do that every single day, whether you write it down or not. Also, the other day I released an episode all about babysit your gold medals, like from Simone. Oh, what was her name? Is it Biles, her surname? I'm so bad with names. But she was like also, yeah. So she was touching on that point of like instead of running from one achievement to the next, like obviously hers was a bit bigger with winning a gold medal, but you can translate that to anything that you achieve throughout your day. Like, are you just running from one thing to the next without even recognizing what you have achieved and accomplished and done for yourself? But by just taking this moment, what are you proud of today? You really get into this reflection, be like, oh, hang on, I actually really did something good for me. And this is worth appreciating. So I absolutely love that prompt.
I think reflection is honestly key. I say this all of the time.
Mm.
If you don't take a moment to pause and reflect on where you've come from, you're going to constantly be striving for more and more and more and never ever be satisfied or feel fulfilled. So if you can look back at even just your day, your week, your month, and just see everything that you've done for yourself, it's incredible. It's life-changing, honestly. Please do reflect, because you're going to end up getting to the end of your life and being like, wow, now I've paused and I look back at all of my achievements, it's insane. Why couldn't I have done that every single week? So start taking acknowledgement for the things that you're doing today.
Love it. Before we get into the last section with the fire round of questions, I want to give this prompt to you. So what are you proud of today, Laura?
I am proud of, I mean, it is just morning, so
Mm-hmm.
there hasn't been much going on this
Or
morning,
the
but I want
weekend.
to say, yeah, well, I was just going to say, and we spoke about this just before we went
Mm-hmm.
live, is last night I was very vulnerable on my Instagram, and it was last month that I was actually diagnosed with ADHD and autism, and I shared that for the first time on my Instagram page, because I've always been honest and open about my journey. And this is a new chapter in my life that I'm now navigating. I'm 33 years old, so I've been diagnosed as an adult, and it's hit quite hard. But I've kept it to myself for the past month, and it's been really difficult. And now I'm kind of like, okay, it's time to start talking about it and navigating this next chapter of my life with even more love and compassion for myself, whilst also being a voice for so many others that are potentially experiencing the same thing. And it just gets to be a new part of the journey, and it's about how I support myself from here. So that's what I would say.
I love that so much. And I always say sharing is caring. So I can't wait to see like your journey from here on forward, because I know it will be so healing, not only for you, but also for so many others that can relate to this. So just for like already, I almost spoke German here. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for doing this wonderful work.
Thank you as well. And thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. It's my total honor. But this also brings us to the last section of this podcast, which is the fire round of questions. that you can answer with one word or short sentence. But before we do so, please tell me a number between 1 and 10.
Oh, I don't know what overthink this. There was two numbers that came to mind. Okay, I'm just going to say 6.
Okay, so you will get 6 questions.
Okay, amazing.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the Laura way of living and leading your best life?
Being gentle.
Mm.
That
When
might
she...
sound really boring, but actually,
No, not
I've
at all.
I feel it's been so amazing for me to be gentle with myself.
I have to say, like, I also find like the way you come across, obviously, like in a podcast now, but also in general on social media, is like such a gentle, safe, and loving energy. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it fits really, really well.
Yeah. I want to bring that to others as well. Yeah.
I love that. When shit hits the fan, what do you tell yourself to get through it?
You've always got through things. You're going to get through this. And also, I just want to say it's whatever you're kind of going through, you learn and grow from so much. And I never kind of see an obstacle as like a failure or like a dead end. It's like, okay, we get to grow from this. So it's almost like you can make it exciting.
Oh, that is so true. What is your key habit for success?
Be yourself.
And what is your favorite book that you would recommend to everyone?
I think there's one called something like, and it's by somebody called Jack something. I can't
Hmm.
remember. If I remember, I'll let you know and you can put it in the show notes.
I
But
will
I
do.
think it's called like why has nobody told us this before? Something like that. And
Oh, is
then
it from Dr. Julie Smith? Why has no one
no, so
told this? Or is it
yeah,
different?
so I think that is like yeah, it is different,
Oh,
but it's a
okay.
simple title. So everyone knows the one
Hmm.
that you've just said, but this guy is like low key and it's
Oh.
incredible.
Hmm.
I love the fact that it's not as well known, but it is an amazing. I'll try and find it and let people know because it was a game changer for me. And then in terms of like a fiction book, is that right? I would say that is it Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. That was an amazing book. Have you
Oh,
read that?
no, I haven't.
It's a good book. It is a really
Yeah.
good book.
I
Mhm.
need to put more fiction books on my reading list. I have way too many non-fiction books. And sometimes I go through the reading list in terms of like, what should I like read next? And I'm like, oh, they all sound so boring. Like I love those books, but at the same time, right now, I'm personally looking for like all the fiction books.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody recommended to me, which I think is like gone viral, is it A Court of Thorn and Roses?
Yes, I think was it Jess who was reading that,
Yeah, she
maybe?
recommended it
Yeah.
to me. But I mean, I'm not even got to chapter 3 and I don't think it's for me.
Oh, okay, okay. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know.
But
Okay.
maybe I persevere. Apparently, the first book isn't as good as the others, but I don't know. I'm kind of like, I don't want to force myself to read it if I don't like it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had that like years ago with a book that just made me so angry. Like, I don't know what it was, but it just made me angry. I just couldn't read it because it made me so frustrated. So I stopped reading it and then I just forgot about it. But that was one of the worst books I've ever read. Or tried to read. Let's say try to read.
I love that.
Okay, 2 more questions. What is a word or expression that you say all the time?
I use words like beautiful a lot now,
Hmm.
but also so like, I think British, but like, no worries. No worries after everything. Even if you're having a complete meltdown or you really don't want to do something, no worries. It's just like one of those things. But I catch myself if I'm doing it, like, is it really no worries? But yeah, I don't know. That was just random.
Hmm. No, I love it. That's why this question is in there to just see like those random things. What is a theme song of your life or your current season?
I'm gonna go with one that I kind of came across. I think it was 2021. And still when I hear it now, it was a bit of an anthem for me back then, but I still feel like it's potent today. So it's Emmy Melly, I Am Woman. Have you heard it?
I think
You
so.
might
I have
have.
something playing in my head right now, but
I'm not even
I
going
don't.
to attempt to think
Oh
so.
no, me neither.
Um,
I'm just like might be the right one, but
but
it might not be.
it is a great song. It really is. It's
Mhm.
very powerful. So I'm going to say that.
I love that. Well, that was all 6 questions. Thank you so much, Laura, for sharing your expertise, for coming on here today. Um, to wrap up, where can people find you and get in touch with you? Obviously, we'll put everything into the description box below, but if there's anything else that you want to share with them, then this is your time.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Instagram is my favorite platform to be on. So definitely come and say hello over there. So at Laura Sylv, obviously Josie's going to put that in the show notes anyway. I've also got a self-love September challenge going on right now, but I know this is going to be, it will be finished by
Yeah.
the time this podcast out. But yeah, I'm always looking to work with women that really just want to change their lives and adopt a better relationship with themselves to live life on their own terms. But yeah, come and find me on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, Threads. You can join my email list, but always open for a chat. And love just getting to know other women that, want to radically change their life. So thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. And as I said, I will put all the links into the description box below. And do reach out to her. Do reach out to Laura. She really is a gentle gem. And it's so, so good to be connected with you. And yeah, with that, I wish everybody who's been listening a great, great week until we see, or it might be, well, not great week, because I think at this point we are moving to 2 episodes a week. So I will see you in a couple of days again. But until then, I wish everybody a great time and see you soon. Bye.